take this guitar once it's restored, and we are going to take this into this. Yeah, this is that same guitar. I know it's hard to believe, but this is how it turned out, and it turned out very nicely, I'd have to say. A lot of work went into getting this to this stage. Just as a reminder, this is a 1977 Greco, from March of 1977 to be exact. It was made in Matsumoto at the Fujigen factory and by the Shodo Kai company. And it's very important because later on, they were the people that Fender America went to start producing their Strats and Tellys and others in Japan later on, about, in this case, 7 years later after they made this one. So the background on this one was I bought this from a guy who was selling me another Greco. He asked me if I wanted to buy it, a seller in Japan. And initially I said no, because it was in terrible shape. He was down at his description of it in his sales offering. He said, consider it as junk. And I initially told him, no, I appreciate the offer, but I'm going to pass on it. And then I was laying in bed and I was thinking about it. It's just a problem I have, thinking about work when I'm supposed to be sleeping. But I reconsidered, and I told my agent in Japan to reach out to the guy and to buy this as well. And when I got it here, yes, it was in terrible condition. As you can see from the video here, right here in the corner, it just was not happening. But I saw that it had good bones. I'm going to show you a video of the things that I did, the steps that I did in order to restore this guitar in this presentation today. Like a star, this Greco was meant to shine brightly, and a little bit of buffing, a little bit of cleaning, a little bit of electronics work, and we certainly got it back to being the star that it is. So let's take a look at the video that I did going through detailing the work that I went through, the meticulous work that I went through in order to get this guitar to its current condition. Okay, I'm going to do this vlog style because, well, I'm just doing this as I go along here. I'm not going to do it all in one day, but I am going to do it a little bit at a time. Ellie's here to help out. So the first thing that I did was I stripped this 1977 Greco Super Sounds down to just keeping some of the hardware. I took the scratch plate off and all the electronics are gone. That's been moved on to firm. And this is going into my parts bin. It may be usable, it may not be. I'm really not happy with that bin right there on this saddle here. So that's okay, but I'm gonna strip the rest of these parts off here. And these are going to get a good thorough cleaning. So we're going to soak these in baking soda for a little while, and then we're going to clean these individually to try to restore these, get a little bit of this rust off. I don't want to completely make them shiny. I don't think I can, but just to get them looking good, looking nice, I know I can do that. So that is the next step. And then I will be doing a fret dressing on this guitar as well, and cleaning and dressing, which will be an easy thing to do, and I'll also show you how I do that. So actually the first thing that I'm going to do is strip all the hardware parts that are remaining here off of the guitar, and then I'm going to start testing cleaning because this guitar needs a good cleaning. You have to be very careful when you're cleaning maple boards, but I think I have everything I need actually here. Alright, mission accomplished. I have successfully stripped all the hardware off of the guitar. So it is looking lovely. Now, I really don't feel like taking this back plate off because I don't feel like resetting this neck. It's already set well enough, but I do want to give this a bit of a buffing to get rid of some of that rust that's built up. There's three methods that you can use. I'm going to try one that I haven't used in a while, and really all you need is a half of potato and just some regular dish soap. And what you do is apply the dish soap to the potato and rub that around, and it should take off a pretty good layer of the rust on it. It's not so badly rusted, as you can see. So yeah, we're going to use that method, the potato method, to remove the rust off of here without having to take this plate off. All right, so I buffed it out a little bit, and I think that that looks great. I think that the potato and dish soap method really works well. I didn't have to take this back plate off, and it really made it so that it's just lovely. It's not overly cleaned. It still has a little bit of patina to it, but I have to say that it looks much better. And it'll match the newer parts that are coming on. That are, well, actually the older parts that are going to get cleaned as well. We're going to clean those using a different method. So I said there was two methods to clean really rusted parts. One of them I showed you was the potato and basically kitchen soap, dish soap method. The other one is vinegar soak. So these have been soaking overnight in vinegar. And as you can see, especially if you remember how the string trees were, you can see that the string trees now are actually they're recognizable now. They're just not clumps of rust. So we've gotten most of the rust off of this. So this is just stage one of what you'll do. So that got the initial rust off, really cleaned up the tuners, as you can see. They didn't lose their patina. And that's one thing that I do like about the white vinegar method, is that it doesn't affect the material, so you're not going to lose your patina, but you are going to get rid of that rust. You can use a little bit of steel wool if you want to as well. I use the steel wool just on this initial part where they're coming out of the vinegar bath, and I'm just getting the extra little bits of rust off, and then we're going to follow it up with some fine scouring. So the string trees came out really nice as well. They were layered in rust, and you can see that they came out quite nice. So I'll take a little 2000 grit, give them a little bit of a polish, and they'll be ready to go, as the rest of these pieces. Like, I've started to polish this one up, and you can see already how different it is from the others. Don't want to take too much on because I don't want to take too much rust off. I want to keep the patina going. But yeah, it did the trick. Now I decided with some of the parts, the springs, they didn't completely get the rust off 100% like I wanted to. So I'm doing the third method, and that's using baking soda. So you just let it sit in baking soda for about an hour, and then you can scrub that off, and it should take off that last little bit of rust that was on these parts. So I ended up using all three methods to clean these parts. I used the potato method, I used the white vinegar method, and I'm also using the baking soda method in order to clean these parts, and it did a really fantastic job, I have to say. So I'm very happy about that. Simple stuff that you have at home that you can do in order to do this kind of work. I did a fret level crown and polish on the frets here. They are looking so much better. And the string trees and all the other tuning hardware has also been de-rusted and ready to go. Let's flip it over. Take a look at the tuners from the back side. Everything looking so much better. We cleaned up the ID plate, and that's looking great, looking very nice and shiny, as well as cleaned up the spring and trim system claw there in the back as well. Polished it up. Haven't done a final polish on it yet until Fern is finished, but at this stage it is ready to go to the luthier. All right, so I am going through the process of now cleaning the pick guard. using rubbing alcohol. So we're going to use isopropyl. This is 96%. And you can see the difference. I started here. You can already see the difference. So what I'm going to do is just go through this and then I'll get back to you and see how it looks. All right, so after quite a bit of cleaning and scrubbing, we have got this scratch plate pretty well cleaned up. And the next thing we're going to do are these pickup covers. So the next thing we're going to work on are these pickup covers. Already you can see that with a little bit of scrubbing they are going to be just fine. And then we're going to do the last of the metal screws around here. We're going to take the rust off of those. And I think that that should pretty much well be it in terms of restoring this guitar. So let's see how that works out. Now I'll tell you what, guys, look at that. Look at that. Look at the gloss on that, the shine on that. Look at that. So a little bit of this Scratch X and using the buffer and going over this pick guard has transformed it. It took out all of those large scratches. There is relatively a few fine scratches if you look real close with a magnifying glass, but it took out all those fine scratches, took out all those scratches, and just really restored this plate. This plate is, this is the factory plate, so there's the stamp from 1977. And yeah, it just really transformed it, much like with the pickguard covers. These things are like brand new. So from now on, I'm going to do that. I'm going to, of course, use alcohol to get the initial dirt and gunk off. Then I'm going to give it a buff with this Meguiar's Scratch X, because wow, that just made a huge, huge difference. I mean, this is ready to rock for another 50 years. No problems. So yeah, there's that. Yeah, that worked out really nice, so we can move on. Okay, so yeah, as you can see, quite a lot of things that were done in order to get this guitar to this point. I couldn't be happier. I gotta be frank with you guys. I really like this one. So in the end, the only parts that had to get traded out were the knobs. So these are not the original knobs. The switch tip, and the springs. The other thing that we had to do electronically was change the input jack. That was one of the reasons we were getting dead readings on these pickups. Once that was installed, these XL pickups from 1977 came to life, and these are the original XLs. Everything else on this guitar is original, by the way. So the knobs, the springs, and an input jack was all that I had to do. A very small investment for getting this guitar back to just great playing condition. I cannot say how happy I am how this turned out. I'm looking for more projects like this to come up, hopefully. It turned out to be a very profitable one because I got in on this for very cheap, and I was able to do the restoration myself for the most part. And as a result, I've got a quality vintage instrument here, almost completely original, and it's good to go for another 50 years. So that's always a good thing. Very, very, very happy how this turned out.